The goats of Lynton, or I should really say the Valley of the Rocks, have been here for generations. And it's this iconic part of the Exmoor National Park that is home to a herd of feral goats. The Valley of the Rocks is an SSI, that is a site of special scientific interest. It's also a place of special geological interest too. This section of the coast of North Devon is quite charmingly known as Little Switzerland. And I think, as you can see, there's a little bit of a hint of those Swiss Alps. The Valley of the Rocks is located about 10 minutes walk from the centre of Lynton. Lynton, of course, is linked directly to Lynmouth, 500 feet below it, by a funicular. And this is the steepest, longest funicular in the world, and it's water powered. The heavy cart at the top powers the lift from the cart at the bottom. Neolithic people are thought to have lived certainly in the location, and there's no reason not to believe that they kept goats as well, and perhaps some of those genes are still to be found in the current incumbents of the Valley of the Rocks. Mentioned in the Domesday Book, 75 goats were in fact listed as being under the manor of Lintonia. That was the former name of Lynton. The goats themselves come under the control of Lynton and Lynmouth Town Council, and they have a detailed policy of this goat management. As well as the council, the herd have been supported by the Lynton Feral Goat Preservation Society, who since 1997 are there to help ensure the conservation of this very unusual and rare herd. The current herd seems to trace its roots back to about 1970, when 3 wild goats were released into the valley, and since then the herd certainly has flourished, as you can see. Every once in a while they hold a roundup. They don't always get all of the goats in these roundups, unless you want to be climbing down a very steep sheer cliff to try and catch one. But nevertheless, any surplus goats are moved on to other sanctuaries and wildlife locations, one of which is Lundy Island, which is about 20 miles off the North Devon coast. Lynton and Lynmouth Town Council recognise the importance of the feral goats to the local business and tourism economy. The goats, of course, are not perfect neighbours. They can actually be quite mischievous without realising what it is that they're doing. But the cafe, which is in the middle of the valley, was raided one night after a tree fell down and demolished a stone wall, and consequently made it easy for them to access the lush vegetation of their garden. And unfortunately their garden was sort of cleaned out virtually. Nevertheless, they are very much part and parcel of the valley. Certainly, to sum up, the goats do provide a very positive tourism interest to the area of Lynton and Lynmouth, and perhaps without the goats the Valley of the Rocks would look a lot different than it does today. They do provide a good grass and shrub trimming service, and they are without doubt quite adorable sometimes. At other times they are little villains, but love them or hate them, I think that the goats are certainly a real asset to this area of North Devon. And these goats also manage to feature in the epic romantic novel written about Exmoor, R.D. Blackmore's Lorna Doone.